Right here is the guitar on the bench. Look at that flame maple headstock top right here in that iconic dime slime finish. We got the string retainer here. That's going to help out with tuning stability on the Floyd Rose. We have this anodized plastic like truss rod cover here. This changed between anodized and like regular plastic and different layers of plastic through the production run. We got the Floyd Rose nut right there. Rosewood fingerboard, and these frets have been polished up super nice already from the previous owner. Seymour Duncan 59 in the neck. We got the tape around the screws and the pickup rings, just as Dime had on his guitars. Bill Lawrence XL500 in the bridge. Pretty sure this is original, and it is a gray wire as well. That's what Dimebag had in his guitars. We got this wicked slime finish right on the top here. This is an actual piece of maple that's on the top here. Some of these USA slimes had a plain top piece of maple like this, as you're seeing here. But more commonly, you would see these with either flame or quilted maple, and you really can't go wrong either way. This looks really similar to one of the Dime slimes that Dime was actually playing with Pantera. Really interesting three-way toggle switch. You could see actual like selector looks very different than like your standard Les Paul style toggle switch. We got the two volumes right here, one tone, all wired up. Output jack down there. We have the licensed Schaller bridge here. We got the Washburn logo on the side. This is again a Floyd Rose design made in Germany by Schaller. Looks deadly. These things sound great as well. Here's the back of the guitar. No back plate on here, but as you can see, there's the claw, there's the block. We got some Dunlop strap locks on the back here. All mahogany back. You could see here there's a little bit of a difference in the grain, so this was probably made out of a couple different pieces of mahogany, and I bet that was in part to how big this guitar is, and just trying to find a big enough piece of mahogany might be near to impossible. We have these back like metal electronics covers down here, really good. I'm going to open them up later for you. We then have the set neck design right here. This is a V-shaped neck, just as all of the USA Dimebag guitars are. Scarf joint neck design here. This is very common on a lot of these Jackson guitars. We got the big old volute, that's to help with the headstocks breaking. And going up, you can see there is the Grover tuners with that very iconic razor blade serial number right there, indicating this is a 1995 first year D3. Alright, there's the back of the toggle switch. As you can see, we kind of have a different design of toggle switch here. You might see that kind of design on like a mini switch or something like that, but we have a full-size three-way toggle switch right here, and these I'm pretty sure only came on the 95s with these 6-point connectors on the back here. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure they switched to a regular Les Paul style switch. In the back cavity here, we have this gold grounding plate right here. That's to help with the electronics and with the noise. Full-size volume pots as well, and there's a little piece of gold right here that is going to be screwed down when you screw the back plate on, and that's going to help ground it even more. You're going to ground everything to the metal, right into the wood. And yeah, really good attention to detail on these guitars here. Took a look in the guitar case really quick, and I'm pretty sure these are the original volume and tone pots. Just to give you an idea, these look pretty small in relation to these full-size CTS ones. So if I size these up, you can see how small the original pots were compared to these aftermarket ones here. There's nothing wrong with using the smaller ones here, although these just kind of look a little bit more appropriate for the level of build that this guitar is at. You can see we got all the factory wiring and factory solder points down there, and yeah, might not be the best representation of Washburn back then, but if you upgrade the pots and you redo the wiring to fix a little bit of that extra ground hum that comes from some of these guitars, do a little bit of thicker wiring, it just looks way better and more appropriate for a USA car. Okay, here we have the 98 Washburn D3 dime bolt all on the bench here. Once again, all original outside of that dime bucker, and this is in actually really great shape. And yeah, there's the dime bucker. There's a little bit of finish scratching on like the clear coat here, but like there's no like dents or anything in the body or in the horns, which is like really great cut of mahogany there, like just insane. Something that's interesting about these Washburn D3 guitars is that the actual clear coat on this guitar, like you can see kind of right here, it's starting to crack a little bit, and there are a couple other clear coat cracks on this guitar as well. That is totally normal. I've been talking with Mike Sherman for a little while, and he actually ran the Washburn Custom Shop when Dime first started out with Washburn, and he said they would crack. And it's totally normal for a guitar this big, you know, from the 90s to have the clear coat kind of crack on it. It's just kind of the nature of the beast. String tree up here, truss rod cover back here, chrome logo, and I don't know, like the chrome logo just looks so killer on these guitars here, especially these bolts here. And I know Chewy and Grady have said, you know, the chrome logo was kind of like whatever, like they just kind of used whatever was lying around, but I don't know, like there's not a lot of these Washburn Dime guitars that have the chrome logo, and just kind of looks a little extra special, you know, especially the way light hits. It looks real good. All of these USA guitars should have the actual metal anodized back plates here. A lot of the fake Washburn D3s will actually have like plastic ones, just kind of like the regular import Washburn 333s or just regular import guitars. You're also going to have the giant neck volute as well, which actually looks like a diamond. You're going to see that on screen right now. That is actually not as pronounced as you might think. It's actually pretty flat. Even my 99 Slime actually has a pretty flat diamond volute like that. We have the good V-shaped neck as well. It also butts up with the headstock in a scarf joint configuration. So that is actually to help strengthen the neck as well. And again, these are some other key characteristics to actually help you spot a potential fake, because again, these guitars are rare and there's a lot of other companies that are trying to make fakes of these, maybe to kind of scam some people. So there's a little bit of buyer beware when you are looking for some of these guitars, and there are some key moments that you really need to look out for when you are buying a Washburn D3, ST3 Pro, any sort of USA Washburn Dimebag guitar. Real high quality back plates on here. There's the cavity off. Again, you can see a little bit of like finish cracking on the inside there. It is what it is. And again, these are collector's guitars, and it's just like they're older guitars. It's kind of bound to happen. It's kind of like owning a older muscle car from like the 60s or the 70s or something like that. Like, they're gonna come with some flaws. They're not perfect, but people love them, and people love these USA Washburn Dimebag guitars. And look at that. We have an actual copper shielded, like actual electronics cavity in here. This is a real key feature on these USA Washburn guitars as well. And again, if you do spot a USA Washburn Dimebag guitar, if it doesn't have any like this gold like shielding or like copper shielding in here, it might be a fake unless the owner of the guitar actually changed it out for whatever reason or anything like that. But keep that in mind, because potentially you might be buying a fake if your Washburn D3 actually does not have all of this copper shielding in here as well. Another thing as well, these Washburn D3 guitars actually didn't come with like this standard like Gibson style three-way toggle switch. They came with a different style toggle switch that kind of looks like has the bottom part of like a mini toggle. So there's a couple like actual different solder points on it. I'll try and get a picture of it, but this has been replaced. So again, that's totally normal. We got a little bit more copper shielding under there as well, just to help kind of keep the noise down on the guitar, which is kind of ironic because that's kind of this guitar's downfall. These are some key moments to actually help you decipher if your guitar that you're trying to buy is a legit guitar. Again, these are collector's item guitars, and they do command a pretty good price. But yeah, the last thing I want to see is someone save up all their hard-earned money and they end up buying a fake. So here's some key takeaways to look for in your USA Washburn Dimebag guitar if you're trying to buy. What's interesting about these American Dimebag Washburn guitars is that bridge pickup goes through there, right in through that cavity where the neck pickup lead wire is going, then all to the toggle switch. So it's not like most guitars where everything would just kind of shoot to the electronics then to the toggle switch. Yeah, interesting design on these guitars. Right, here's the guitar on the bench. There's the headstock with the Dimebag Darrell tribute logo. Again, if you saw the unboxing, there's no damage on this guitar at all, which is crazy for a guitar that's this big and this pointy. I also want to highlight the paint on this guitar. These guitars were made in Florida, and then they were shipped over to California, hand painted and airbrushed, and then sent back to Florida for final assembly. Fretboard needs some hydration. The frets need to be cleaned as well. That's a pretty easy job as well. Getting down to the body here, again, no damage on all of the horns as I showed in the past. But like, just look at the paint and the level of detail on this. This is all hand done. This is not done by a machine. This is not a vinyl print or anything. I also think this is actually an actual inlay that's in the guitar, which is, again, super sick. Something you just don't see. It's not paint or anything like that. It's a hand done inlay. You got like this bolt that's painted on down here, a little bit of rust on the screws. It actually kind of adds to it, so that's pretty sick. A little bit of damage on the volume pot right there, but that's just the plastic. That's all good. Dimebag traction knobs. Again, look at that paint all over the guitar. Just crazy, crazy level of detail on these things. Yeah, it's not every day you see one of these USA Rust Razorbacks like in the flesh, and crazy, crazy level of detail. Original Floyd Rose, Dimebucker, DiMarzio Super Distortion, and look at that. I'm just gonna put my hand like right up here. And it looks like our fretboard access is going to be pretty good. This is an awkward angle to grab it at, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty deadly on this. Alright, now here's the back of the guitar. Just, you know, they spared no expense with quality control and with detail on the finish on this guitar. This guitar also feels very solid. as it should, because this was a premium instrument, still a premium instrument by today's standards. And yeah, the Dean Custom Shop from back then, absolutely out of this world, great build. Crazy attention to detail. Got some plastic back covers here. I'm going to take those off in a sec so you can see the electronics. Got the V-shaped neck going up and down. Again, hand painted. Like, this looks so sick. This paint job on the back of the neck kind of reminds me of some of Dimebag's guitars that had the backs of the neck painted with like a little bit of designs. Some of Dimebag's guitars actually like said some words on the back, and this one just kind of has that same vibe, in my opinion, even though it doesn't really have words. Going up to the top here, there's the imprinted signature for Dimebag. The serial number is right above it, same with the Made in USA stamp, and more rust finish on the headstock. Super sick guitar. All right, here's all the back cavities off. Giant gob of solder to ground the strings on the bridge. Back of the Floyd Rose there, you can see a little bit of the paint is coming through from that rust finish. This is pretty sweet here, so you can tell how much detail is on this paint job, because just to make this little imprint right here, like with paint, absolutely crazy with that level of detail. Electronics cavity, we got some shielding paint-ish in here. You don't really need it too much, especially when your guitar is properly wired and grounded as it should be. A little bit of bare wood under there so the pots can hopefully be a little bit more grounded. And the toggle switch, very standard, nothing crazy there. A little bit of silver paint under the back sides of all of that. Yeah, it looks really good, nothing negative to write home about. I did plug this in initially for the unboxing and there was no electronics issues or anything like that. Probably just going to leave this stock as well, just to keep it as it is. Otherwise, I'm going to get the strings off this guitar, and then I'm going to take the pickups out so then you can see what it looks like under there. And just as always, when you are dealing with a Floyd Rose and you're changing strings or you're loosening them or whatever, you want to make sure the bridge is stable and flush. This is just going to make your life easier when you're actually retuning and getting the bridge actually sitting properly. Get this bar right here. I'm going to have a link in the bio. Shove it right under the back of the Floyd Rose bridge right here. This is going to keep it stable when you relieve all the tension from the strings. And you're just going to thank yourself later, because this is a huge game changer and does not cost a lot of money. Alright, there's not a lot of actual lead on the pickup to move, but this is just to give you an idea. You got the name Rust right under there, so there's no real finishing under that, so this is probably all taped off, you know, for the actual airbrushing of this. I just wanted to take a look since we are here. And then under here is the serial number. Might be hard to actually see that there, but it is under there. Again, there's not a lot of pickup wire that's left on these pickups, so it's kind of hard to move them. We're just going to put it back to how it is, but yeah, something I just kind of wanted to show you to see if that would be cool or not. Otherwise, one more look at the top on this guitar and some of the details. Whoever painted these guitars, you know, if they were done in California, absolute crazy good job. Hats off. Some of the best paint I've ever seen on a guitar in person.